going on, everybody? Ryan Greenspan here. I get a lot of emails and a lot of questions and ask what my settings are on my gun. So I thought the best way to show you or tell you is to actually show you the settings and go through how I set everything up before I go to a big event. This weekend I have MAO coming up, the Mid-Atlantic Open for the PSP event. So I'm going to set this up in PSP mode the way I would play in a tournament. Okay, so for my Signature Series GEO3 right here, the first thing you want to do is you want to take off the grip panels and unlock your board. If you don't know how to do that, consult your manual, or easily what you do is you just unscrew these two screws, you turn your gun on, and there's a little red button right inside of here. Push that, and your board's unlocked. So some tournaments they require you to have your board locked and whatnot, but for the PSP and whatnot, you don't really need to have that because it's not really that big of an issue. You can't adjust anything that will affect the game while you're on the field. So first thing, you turn your gun on. Okay. Then once it's on, you want to push the you want to turn it back to cycle through the menus, which is either pushing it twice or holding it down, whatever you have set up. So for me, I push it twice and it's going to go on to the menu. Now I cycle down to my presets. Okay, that's the first thing. You're going to load, select that, cycle through to PSP 12. Select that one, go back up, hit the back arrow. Now you're back in your main part of your menu. It'll say fire mode is on ramp, rate of fire capped on. Go down, now it's going to say your BS on rate of fire, that's your balls per second. It's going to default to 12. What I do is I put it up about 3 points, so 12.3. The legal limit is 12.5, but in this you want to be just a little under because you don't want to get that penalty if for some reason it spikes up a tiny bit. So I just keep it right under 12.5. Select that one, go down to the BS rate of fire off. When your eyes are off or they default, it's going to set at 10 balls a second. That's the default setting. I always like to go up a little higher. 10 seems a little slow. I know my loader can keep up with about 11.5, so that's where I put mine. Again, this is personal preference, but just in case something happens with your eyes, at least you're still going to be able to get paint out of your gun, and it's going to still feel about the same with the rate of fire. Now I'm going to go back down a couple more past the timing. I'm going to select the filter. Now the stock setting on the filter is level 5. What I do is I put that all the way down to level 1. It's going to, the debounce is going to make your gun shoot a little quicker. It's going to register your trigger finger or your trigger speed a little quicker. I don't really know the exact, mumbo jumbo as far as the electronics are concerned, but this is what I set it at, and it seems to work pretty well for me. So as soon as your debounce level 1 is selected, you're going to go back up, go back to the main menu. Your hardware. This is another thing. What you're going to want to do is you want to put your trigger. There's a default. It's on trigger is opto. That means that every time that your trigger inside of here, the mechanism pulls, it breaks a little laser beam, an infrared beam. The one thing that I say about that is I always like to put my trigger on the switch, and the reason for this is because if you get paint or gunk inside your grip frame, which is hard to do, but if you take a lot of gunshots or whatever, and somehow paint gets in the trigger guard, it can disrupt that eye, and your trigger might not work. Whereas the switch is a fail-safe. The switch is never going to stop working unless it's really, really, really gunked up. But at that point, your opto won't work either. So that's what I put it at. Again, personal preference. I like the switch. I guess I've called me old-fashioned. We've been playing paintball for so long that we've always grown up using the switch. So now that that's all set, everything else is just kind of personal preference. Sometimes you can maybe switch the coloring on your LED boards by going down and selecting a couple little things, but you don't really need to do that. The sound, the tones, your backlight. I like to make mine a little more blue for whatever reason. My green level's at 100, my red level's at 10, and my backlight is at 06. So my blue level's at 100 also. So it makes it that little blue color. Again, this is personal preference. You can make it green, you can make it red, you can make it pink. Don't do pink. But yeah, those are my settings. I'm going to go back up all the way and turn the gun. You hit the exit button, and that'll save everything. Now you're ready to go. Obviously, I don't need to shoot anything because my tank's not on, but those are all my settings. One other thing that I like to upgrade, these guns come awesome out of the box. Everybody who's ever purchased one from me, or I've let them borrow, or even anybody I've even talked to, they love their gun out of the box. Shoots great. The one upgrade that I do put on it, and so do all the other team guys, we put a violent trigger on there. It's a cool little angle, gives you maybe a little better feel, you know. And again, triggers are all personal preference, so that's entirely up to you. Other than that, you know, watch us on the Paintball Access website this weekend. You know, you can always go, if you're watching this after this weekend's event, you can go to paintballaccess.com, look at our video on demands. You can catch up with up-to-date stuff on there. Check out my Facebook or our Team Dynasty's Facebook, and follow us on all the social media outlets you can. Subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I hope you enjoy.